One of the top Red Sox pitching prospects is now another step closer to Major League Baseball. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin, and I feel like we've been talking about Red Sox prospects a pretty decent amount over the last couple of weeks here of the 2024 season. I think the big reason for that is because a lot of the top guys in the Red Sox system have really started and come out of the gate pretty hot here, and there's no exception in this video. However, these are my favorite videos to make because last night someone got one step closer to making their dream a reality when the Boston Red Sox promoted one of their top pitching prospects. So what we're going to do in the second video today is break down this promotion, talk about who got promoted, why they got promoted, what this does to their overall timeline, and what this could mean for the Boston Red Sox as a whole. But before we get into that, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe and like button. If you're new here, we talk Sox content almost every single day. Don't forget, these episodes are also always available in podcast form, whether that be Spotify or Apple Podcasts. The easy way is to click the link in the description below to get started and listen, or you can head over to your favorite podcasting app and just look up Red Seat Radio. Thank you all very much for clicking on the second video today. Let's get into it. If you haven't heard the news already, the prospect we are talking about today is Luis Perales, who last night it was reported that he had been promoted from high A into double A baseball. Now, this was, I think, broke by our friend Andrew Parker of this channel. He is a fantastic Twitter follow, by the way, for anyone who really loves Red Sox minor league baseball. He covers just about everything and everyone, does a great job over there, but that's not really the point of this video. The point is that Luis Perales is now another step closer to Major League Baseball. For those of you who aren't super familiar with who he is, he's the number 8 prospect in the Red Sox farm system right now, their third highest ranked pitching prospect. He was signed in 2019 out of Venezuela, and the 21-year-old has been making his way through the Red Sox system ever since. Now, he's been a little bit slow to develop, mostly due to some injury concerns that he's had over the first couple of years, but so far this season, he's been absolutely killing it. In fact, this has been the best statistical season of Luis Perales' development so far. In 7 games in high A where he started the season, he had a 3.42 ERA, but a significantly lower 1.98 FIP, meaning he was performing well above what his ERA leads on. He was kind of getting blooped to death a bit if you look at his BABIP statistics, but what was really impressive so far this season from Perales has been the type of contact he's been allowing. First of all, he's striking out a higher percentage of batters than he has in his entire career so far. In those 7 starts, he has a 39.7% strikeout rate, meaning he is striking out almost 15 batters for every 9 innings that he pitches. We're getting to the point here where that's close to motion here, and I want to talk about it a little bit. This year's a really interesting season for Luis Perales. He was eligible for the Rule 5 draft in December before the season started, which meant the Red Sox had a really interesting decision to make. He was pretty far away from Major League Baseball, but with all the promise that Luis Perales has, he was very obviously going to be taken in the Rule 5 draft, so the Red Sox decided to add him to the 40-man roster. So now he's pitching in low A, now double A baseball, taking up a 40-man spot, along with Wickelman Gonzalez. And the question I have here is whether or not this affected their trajectory of Luis Perales. Right now, he's projected to make his major league debut in sometime in 2026. I'm curious if that timeline has moved up all that much because he's been added to this 40-man roster. I would assume it has to be, right? You don't want to waste that 40-man spot for a couple more years in hopes that he can get to Major League Baseball within that time frame. Obviously, he completely deserved this promotion with what he's been doing on the field, but I do think this was part of the reason why the Red Sox decided to pretty quickly promote him up to double A baseball was because he was on this 40-man roster and because he was taking up a 40-man spot. Again, don't get me wrong, Luis Perales absolutely statistically deserved this promotion every possible way. I do just think this is a bit of a factor. As for what this means for Luis Perales' timeline, like I just said, he is predicted to come up mid-2026, but I actually think having him jump up to double A so quickly this season does shorten shorten that a bit, especially if he can get to AAA by the beginning of the year. I think it is entirely possible we see him in a Red Sox uniform at some point in 2025. Now, probably not at the beginning of 2025, probably more towards the end of the 2025 season, but still, I do think this does shorten his timeline quite a bit. I think a lot of people were expecting him to spend a bit more time in high A than he has so far this season. I do want to say, however, I don't think he's going to come close to sniffing Fenway Park this season or the first half of the second season. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't really sniff Worcester this year at all either. I really think they're going to take their time and make sure that he's good to go in AA, because AA is going to be a challenge for Luis Perales. It's a challenge for every minor league pitcher. AA is probably the most competitive minor league system league that any major league team has. He's going to be facing the most prominent competition that he's probably going to face at any point in his minor league career. So there's going to be an adjustment period there, and I'm 100% positive the Red Sox are going to want to make sure that Luis Perales is 100% okay with that challenge and adjusts himself properly in the AA area before they move him up to AAA. As for what this means for the Boston Red Sox, I think this is absolutely fantastic news, right? I think this is just about as good as news as you can get. And the reason for this is because over the past couple of years, specifically over the last year or so, the Red Sox have really been hammered because of their pitching pipeline. They don't have any top 100 pitchers, and a lot of these guys are sort of profiling out as back end to bullpen type relief options, right? There hasn't been a really, this guy's going to be a top rotation type player in a little bit now. However, this season, you're starting to see a really big jump in development for a lot of their top starting pitching prospects. Wilkerman Gonzalez, Richard Fitz, and now Luis Perales are really starting to put together really solid seasons for this Red Sox team, and obviously, that's extremely important. I think clearly the Red Sox bringing in outside help in Richard Fitz and David Sandlin and trying to bolster their pitching pipeline that way is a really quick way of getting a better pitching pipeline. But what I also think is extremely important here is developing the talent that you already have in this system, because there are a couple of guys here that could be legitimate impact starters at the major league level. They just hadn't really gotten to that next step. Luis Perales is a prime example of that. He'd struggled a bit throughout his minor league career so far, and to see this sort of jump into what he's become so far this year in high A and earn himself that promotion to AA is a really, really encouraging sign. It takes more than just drafting and acquiring starting pitching prospects for the Red Sox to really bolster this pitching pipeline. And I think this should be something that's getting fans really excited to see these players perform the way that they are playing so far this year. Is a key indication that the Red Sox are changing their pitching philosophy, not just at the major league level, but in the minor league level as well. It's a ton of fun to watch, and either way, you look at what Luis Perales could be, and you're talking about a guy who probably has the most raw talent out of any starting pitching prospect the Red Sox have. This is a guy who at his peak could be a top of the rotation type starter, so to see this type of movement this quickly in the season and to see this type of development from Luis Perales so early in 2024 to me is extremely exciting. Either way, it's absolutely fantastic news for the Red Sox. It's fantastic news for us as fans, and obviously it's fantastic news for Luis Perales. I wish him all the luck in AA, and if he can stay healthy, I think there's a lot of really great things to come for this prospect. But that's just my opinion, so let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think of all this? What do you think of the Red Sox promoting Luis Perales? Do you like it? Do you not like it? What are your thoughts on what he could be for the Red Sox in the next couple of years? Are you excited? Are you not excited? What are your thoughts overall on this latest Red Sox promotion? Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Again, like I said, if you're new here, we talk Sox almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button as well. Just helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Don't forget, you can get all these episodes in podcast form on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get podcasts, just by heading over to your podcasting app and looking up Red Seat Radio. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the Red Seats.